Good morning. Hello. What's up, stylists from the back room? We are going to be going over some news. We've got a discussion topic. I am excited to see what motivation John's got for us this week.
Nope.
And we got a product review.
No, we're not. We're not doing any of that today.
All right. Then John is hijacking the stream. And good morning, John. What do you got for us today?
Good morning, Eddie.
Instead, what are we doing?
What are we doing? All right. Well, we're going to take a tour, and pretty much it's just nap time right now. Okay.
Nap time.
As always, how was your week so far, my friend?
It was a fun week. It's a fun week. It's a very heavy hair extension week this week, but it's a fun week. It's a lot of correctives this week.
We actually got a chance to have some fun together, which we'll get into later on. But first and foremost is I've got some news for you, my friend. Are you ready?
What you got?
Hold on one second. So, we're now what, 3 years out from the Great Reset, right? Right? Is that what we're calling it?
Sure.
And as we know, there are salons that have come back, and there are salons that are still just keeping their heads above water, and there's salons that never reopened after COVID. Let's just call it what it is, after COVID. So there was a report done, and it's how are salons staying afloat, especially now where people's budgets are very tight in 2024.
Okay.
And what they did is they went from the other angle. Instead of interviewing us, the operators or the owners or what have you, they talked to clients. And 75% of salon clients viewed their salon visits as investments in their well-being, not a luxury. Think about that.
Whoa, that's heavy.
Well, is that kind of heavy compared if you really think about what we do? It's not just their hair.
I like that it's actually being recognized. The gravity, the weight of what we do. I like the fact that that's being recognized. That's
right?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and that we actually have a value, and it's not just, oh, do my roots, oh, just trim me up. Clients come in for that human connection, that one-on-one time with us.
Well, more than that, we're not high school dropouts anymore. This actually is a career. What was it? The Grease show?
Beauty school. No, it was beauty school dropout. But yeah. But and that takes me into a little bit of a different direction, because I remember as a young stylist coming up, and I had the opportunity to go to England, and we visited some high-end salons in England, and it was amazing to me to see how hairdressers in Europe were treated compared to the way that we are treated here in the U.S. And it's nice to know that we are becoming rock stars to our clients. It's really, really, really cool that way. So when some of the subjects that the clients brought up when they were interviewed, and it was 100 clients, 100 salon patrons.
Yeah, sure.
They value now self-care, really taking care of themselves and their salon visit, whether it be haircut, color, seeing the esthetician, nails. They really value taking care of themselves more now than before. They love the fact that it always leaving the salon, it was a confidence boost. There we go. I can pronounce that word, I swear. It was a big confidence boost. It was a boost to their morale, how they feel about themselves, the whole 9 yards. And more clients, because of the way things have kind of morphed, if you will, they're really focusing more on themselves and once again with their self-care. And then one of the most important things is when they go to the salon, they want to feel pampered and be that. And really, because what they did is they took a cross section of salons, and they want to feel pampered from whether it is a large salon all the way down to booth rent situation or a studio or what have you. They want to feel pampered and appreciated by their stylist, and
that's a really
that's one of the
powerful
biggest takeaways.
that mental health and that feeling confident boost and getting pampered, having that connection that you truly do feel like somebody cares about you and they like you and they think you are pretty and they try to help you look even prettier, to enhance your natural beauty. It's huge. I was having dinner with the family over the weekend, and was talking to one of the cousins. She's got kids, and she was just saying that the bullying nowadays is so different than how it was when we was growing up. Because bullying when we was growing up, somebody made fun of you, you went home and you cried about it, and your mama would just say, "Hey, look, that's the only person in this planet. That's who you're worried about. Go talk to somebody else, huh?" So it was like, okay, fine, no big deal. You move on to the next person, right? But it was individual. Nowadays, with the internet and with social media, and the world is so much more vast and we're all connected together so much quicker, this online bullying is out of control. And online bullying is not just for school. People are bullying each other on Twitter. They're doing it on Facebook. They're doing it. They're arguing through YouTube, through the news, talk shows. Like it's, all over the place. It's wild nowadays. So when you're when you're feeling down, when you're getting put down and kicked down,
Right.
You're getting kicked down by like 1 million people all at once. You're not just, it's not just one or two people that are a group of friends.
Right.
It's a group of 1,000 people here. It's a group of another 1,000 people there.
Right.
Times, another 1,000. It's just like 1 million people crapping on you left and right. And you're getting shotgun blasted, all at once. It's overwhelming. It can get overwhelming really quick.
It's awful.
And hearing the words of affirmation just from one individual person, sometimes that's all it takes. This is why we do what we do. We preach this constantly all the time.
Wow, we lost Eddie.
Nah, your internet.
Oh, I'm driving the ship now.
Is that what it is?
It's not my internet.
All right. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know if you still hear me? All right. Well, just keep going. Keep going and I'll reconnect.
You keep freezing. Well, while you're trying to figure that out, there's a new trend that it's actually not a new trend. It's an old trend, but it's coming back to the salon industry, and that is personalized salon visits. No longer do clients want to feel like they are on a conveyor belt in a salon. They don't want to just go from station to station to station to station. They want a personalized approach to each and every.
Whoa. So I don't know if that's you or me that cut out, but I'm going to do this and we're just going to keep going. Hopefully you come back soon. Because it's either me or you, and I can't tell the difference who's who. But yeah, asking for personalized visits, as you were just talking about, as John was just talking about, that was the thing. That's how we made our monies, for a long, long time. What it was, you would specialize. Like I remember, it was a specialized salon. Or departmentalized salon. I had to choose to either be a colorist or to be a hairdresser. It was one or the other. And at that point, it was like, okay, fine. You're putting in a 12-hour shift. You're putting a 14-hour shift. You do, a client per hour and you made your money. You saw a dozen people a day and that was it, right? Well, if you wanted a raise, you would go to the owner and you'd say, I need more percent. Well, no, you don't get more percent. They would tell you to raise your prices or do more clients. Well, back then, raising prices was kind of scary, especially for the time. And I think nowadays too, people are still nervous about raising their prices. So then what you would do is you would just get faster. You'd get more confident, you'd get more comfortable doing hair, and you would just get faster. So then instead of taking an hour to do a client, you would do them in 30 minutes. Well, now you're seeing 2 people per hour. Well, now you had the ability to see 24 people in a day, 24 people a day. Well, then you got even faster than that. Now you were seeing 3 people per hour. You were seeing 4 people per hour. You were just turning and burning every 15 minutes. You'd be slapping on. It didn't matter if it was a single process. Didn't matter if it was a highlight. Didn't matter if it was a highlight and a single process color touch up. You just, every 15 minutes, somebody was sitting, somebody was waiting, somebody was sitting, somebody was processing, and somebody needed to get shampooed.
Right.
And you would just be, and then if you got an assistant or if you had shampoo help, now you would be seeing 2 people every 15 minutes, sometimes even 3 people every 15 minutes. Right. And that's where that assembly line idea came from. That's where that feeling came from. So it was no longer an individual personalized service anymore. It was, you're here for your appointment, sit down, here we go. You would get, it was like a doctor visit, basically. You'd get a 30-second consultation. You'd get 30 seconds of bedside manner. You'd get 30 seconds of this is the end of your service. Here's your script, which was basically, this is the retail I demand you to use to maintain what I just did on you. See you in 6 weeks.
Right.
And it really, really was like a doctor's visit. It became like a doctor's visit. It was insane. So I love that we're coming back to that personalized visits, because the value, the value in what the client is getting nowadays for what they're paying and what they're receiving, and the self-confidence boost that you were just talking about prior to this, all of that comes into play, and it really becomes a full individual personalized visit. I absolutely love that. I think that's a great idea. Oh, right. Not a great idea. I love that the direction is moving in that direction. It's not an idea. This is from a poll you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it was done by Salon Today. It was a poll. And what's coming, what's old, once again, like we're talking about, what's old is becoming new again. People actually, with a lot of these salon programs now, you can, to give that personalized service to the client, you can now, we used to make note cards, right? You and I were talking about this a few episodes ago about, well, you put that client asks you, well, you write my formula down, right? And she's like, and you don't write what side my part goes on? So client notes are coming back, and also building loyalty is really huge.
That's cool.
And part of that personalized service actually will bring loyalty back to you as a stylist.
That's very cool. That's exciting to hear. All the way around, that's exciting to hear.
It is. And on that note, I just lost. I'm sorry, guys. My computer just went dead on me. Give me 2 seconds.
No, that's fine. I like that. I like the direction. I mean, we've been saying this for a couple of months now. This year in particular has been a strong, strong year. It's been a strong year for business. It's been a strong year for community. It's been a strong year for individuals as well. And I like the direction that everything is going. It makes people feel good. People are feeling more confident. Business is getting better. And I think we are getting more efficient at doing business as well. So all the way around, it all works out.
It does.
Keep these new stories coming, man. They're awesome.
It's all about how you handle yourself with your clients too. Case in point, we had the opportunity this week, you and I, to actually work together on a client. And she had two back-to-back really, not one was a bad haircut. The next haircut was to try to fix the bad haircut. And it ended up being a very steppy, poor thing. She has a big family.
That's the hardest part to try to describe. So here's my question for chat, and for everybody watching. I'd love to get, a comment on this one to see your view on it. Technically, it was a perfectly sound haircut. Every angle was even. Every layer was perfectly executed. The haircut was a solid haircut. The problem was it was the wrong type of haircut for her head shape. And that's why it looked bad on her. If it was put on somebody else's head, it would have been a good haircut. We would have perceived it as a good haircut. We're perceiving this as a bad haircut, but a bad haircut implies, so what is a bad haircut? Does it imply that it just looks really choppy and uneven and wrong? Or is a bad haircut that it's not for her type of head? Or is it a combination of both? What really is a bad haircut? Because again, technically speaking, this was a perfectly executed haircut. It was just on the wrong head shape.
100% agreed. But
so that second haircut was trying to correct and even out and balance it out to make it fit her head shape.
Right.
That was really the issue.
Well, but the problem being is that first haircut was a bad haircut. And then the second haircut done by a different person was a technically sound haircut. And I think the haircut was done to try and correct some of the problems, but it was the wrong haircut, like you said, for this head shape. But then, we did the consultation together. There were tears. She was feeling really bad about herself. Even when she walked into the shop on Wednesday, well, how would you like to walk into a shop and see the two of us standing there waiting to,
Well, even rewind before that, because we had a phone consultation before I even came over by you to do the physical consultation, before we even got to the appointment.
Right.
So build out that whole story from the start for people to truly understand the insanity of how it went down.
Once again, basically she was missing these corners which she needs for her face shape. And she sent me pictures after the haircut. She was in tears. And she's gone through a lot in her life over the past couple of years. It's been one bad thing after another for her. She's a really nice person, guys. Don't take me the wrong way. She's awesome. She's great. She's been one of my clients for 30 years. But she's faced with this haircut, which basically she called it the artichoke.
She said she looked like an artichoke. That's right. She said she looked like an artichoke.
She looked like an artichoke. Now, while we were sitting talking and figuring things out, I actually brought up the artichoke haircut on Google, and it's a haircut from the 60s. But anyway, she was calling it an artichoke, but we developed a plan to fill in these sides and actually get her some length. She has, naturally curly hair. I did the color before you even got here. Before you got here, I did her color, and then we went right in with the extensions. And it was really amazing to watch. First off, Eddie doing one of the most amazing extension help. I was the assistant. I got to be the assistant. Watching Eddie head map, and he mapped out these extensions. It was truly amazing because as we put the extensions in, and that was considerably longer than what she's used to, and she's like, I don't know. And then we did the haircut on her, and I did the basic haircut, and then Eddie went in with this texturizing shear technique that blended everything. It was amazing, and we're gonna have pictures for you guys next week. But really, what I want to say, really what I really want to talk about is the fact that by the time she spent, what, 3.5 hours with us?
Yeah, between the color and the application of the extensions and everything, yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 hours with us. She came in a mess, and by the time she left, she bounced out of the salon. She was so happy. She called me yesterday. Her kids even said, "Oh, we got our mom back." What is that?
Cool.
How awesome is that?
That's cool.
And she just was, singing the praises of the both of us. But to watch, I got to retract back, and to watch Eddie truly operate behind the chair, if anybody ever has an opportunity, it is amazing, because he talks a really tough game, like he's so tough and rough, and if the client doesn't like it, I'll light her on fire. But Eddie is one of the most. He was so compassionate with her and so gentle. It was really, really amazing to watch. And it kind of got, man, and us being able to do this for her, it kind of rejuiced me for, we need that rejuvenation. But really the best part of what we do, and you can put in the comments if you don't agree, is really when we get to change someone's life and make them feel good about themselves. Yeah. That is such I don't know if that's endorphins or whatever comes from that. That is an addictive, amazing rush. And once again, for anybody who you ever get the opportunity to watch Eddie work, it is really, really amazing. Because you see the goofy side and then him goofing off a lot. But to watch him hyper focus, this man is a true freaking artist. There are times where
I'm right here, guy. You're talking about me. I'm right here, man.
Well, I'm talking to the people out there, because I think not only as an artist, but also as an educator, I think the way you change people's lives is truly, truly amazing. And I am just so stoked when clients are. I live for clients being happy, because that's what we do this for, is to make people happy. Yeah, to make money, I get that, but to really watch an artist work, and not only Eddie, anybody else that inspires you, spend some time with those people. It really, really helps you. It will help you with what you do behind the chair. True, false, negative, positive?
No, it's true. Thank you for I'm not good at taking compliments. So thank you for the compliment, and making it awkward now. So now I feel weird.
Oh, you're still a chimpanzee.
The art of what we do more than anything else is taking somebody's vision. Everybody has their own individual thought, an idea of what they want to look like and what they should look like in their own minds. And then they have to express that somehow verbally, or they got to come in with some kind of a picture, something. So even if when you're looking for a picture, there is no one picture out there that's going to show exactly what you want to look like, because if you are looking to look like something, that means you don't look like it right now. And you are you. You are an individual person. Nobody else in this world has the same texture, density, and porosity, has the same style, has the same mental fortitude that you have. So you have an idea of what you want to look like in your mind. You got to try to find something similar to kind of describe it, because you may or may not be able to express that verbally. Then you got to come to somebody else, us, the stylist. Now you got to try to say that to us. It's the ultimate game of operator, because now we have to receive that information. We have to go through our little file and our little Google search inside our own little heads. And based on our creativity, combined with our technical ability, We have to regurgitate that back to you, what we think we just heard you say. And based on what we think of you, not just what you think of yourself, based on what we think of you, we have to give that back to you. And then we have to express our own style onto you, imprint our own style onto you, both emotionally, physically, and creatively. It's wild. It is absolutely insane if you really break down the process of getting your hair done or getting any service in the salon. It is insane what we really, really do. Okay. And I don't care what you tell me, I am tough behind the chair. But when you have somebody that comes in and they don't feel good, what's the benefit of kicking somebody when they're down? There is absolutely zero benefit to kicking somebody to when they're down or trying to be mean to somebody or trying to be rude to somebody. Okay. So no, yeah, that's the only time I'll get nurturing is when somebody is in the chair and they're not feeling so good. And then you got to help boost them up. You got to go extreme. If somebody is really bad this far on the side, you got to be the complete polar opposite extreme on the opposite side to bring them back to the middle somewhere so they can start feeling good about themselves, just so you can build them a baseline so they can move up from there. Okay. And look, you got to pick somebody up. You got to be up to pick somebody up.
Absolutely. That's the old people skills. You have to style shift. You've got to, but at one point, guys, we had her laughing so hard she was crying. It was, but I, and I'm not stroking you because you're my friend, because I need better friends. But seriously, I can't say it enough. Watching Eddie work, and especially with the beaded weft, with the flat beaded weft extensions, we gave her a head of hair again. And it was one of the most amazing things. I can't say that word enough, because when we mapped it out originally, the head mapping, and my phone keeps going off. Sorry, guys. When we mapped it out, Eddie made some tweaks to it that made this just, working with someone with as much of experience, because, once again, my working with hair extensions is this much, Eddie's is this much. And we just rocked this lady's world. It was so cool. And she was so happy. She called me yesterday, like I said, and she's so happy. And that's really what it's all about. It's about making someone happy. And yeah, I've seen you be tough behind the chair, but you're just a big potato. You're a big squishy baked potato.
There is a treatment for everybody. There is a product for everybody.
And now I've got her. Now I've got her. I've been talking to her about. What's that? I'm sorry.
No, I just believe that there is something out there for everybody.
We froze.
Now then,
we are having it.
It's either your computer or mine.
Right,
I don't know.
Right.
All right, keep it rolling then, and we'll see what happens.
I've got. Yeah, I've been running through the mobile hotspot, and then I've got.
No, I'm saying finish your thought. Keep your thought rolling, and we'll
sorry,
see
guys. We're having technical difficulties today. Okay, so I've been. Once again, thanks to Eddie. Eddie has introduced me to a whole new product line, and it's the Care Therapy treatment lines, because with all the shenanigans that are going on with all of the smoothing systems, I needed something that I could give to my clients that I felt safe with and that they felt safe with. So I've kind of immersed myself in the Care Therapy. The Care Therapy treatments, and I've been doing. I've really, really embraced them, but I really want Eddie to go over the Care Therapy treatments for all of you, for those of you that have not, because Care Therapy can really, really change your world.
So you want me to go over any one in particular? They have a number of treatments available. So is there any particular one that you want to talk about?
Well, my new favorite is the coke. My new favorite is the cocoa.
I don't think it's the computer having technical. I think it's your brain having a technical difficulty.
Well, I can't hear you. You need to send a hate letter to Comcast. I'm serious.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. Yeah, the cocoa, the cocoa from Carotherapy is a really fun treatment to do because you can smooth out the hair, you can treat it, reinforce it with strength, give the hair back its core strength, and it can last for months on end. All right. That's the power of the cocoa. And it smells good. Everybody comments how the proper name is the Carotherapy Smoothing Treatment Cream Day Cocoa. That's the full proper name for it, right? And just like its name states, it actually has like a chocolatey scent to it. And everybody always comments about how good it smells. And I'm convinced at this point that nobody cares about the technicality of anything anymore. As long as it smells good, that's how you know it works good. So that's the whole commercial. That's all you need to know is that it smells like chocolate. Chocolate's good. People like it. And therefore, it works. And if you don't like chocolate, then you don't know what you're doing and you need to take a class. Then we can go over all the technicalities you want on why the Cream de Cocoa treatment is a nice, powerful, strong, smoothing treatment that can last for months. And it could be really good and healthy for you.
So with the cocoa, are there different strengths now?
Yeah, there is milk chocolate, there is dark chocolate, and there is.
I want the chocolate shake.
Told you, nobody cares about the technicality of anything. It smells good. That's it. It works because it smells good. Okay. What are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to smooth out some of that wave and curl. It'll do it. You're trying to tame the frizz and make it anti-humectant. You got it. You're trying to get some shine and sheen back into that hair so you can blast it with a curling iron and a flat iron to make the beachy waves and the nice, angles and stuff. Or you want to put some crimping in there to get some teasing done and you want to protect it from that heat thermal damage. No problem. You want to sound like an infomercial, but wait, there's more. It smells like cocoa, so your hair will smell good for days on end. Go to htbbeauty.com and buy your stylist kit today to try it out. The thing is this. A lot of people are talking about keratin smoothing. Why? Because it's the summertime coming up. Is that why we're all of a sudden we're talking about keratin smoothing treatments? Because there's going to be humidity in the air. And when there's humidity in the air, then everybody's hair blows up. And when everybody's hair blows up, then it starts getting either poofy and their hair walks in through the door before their head does, or it starts sitting sopping wet against the side of their head and it goes limp and you can't do anything with it. And that's no fun. What are we really talking about? Why are we really talking about this? Because it's something that should be done every 3 to 4 months. But too many people only get it done once or twice a year. And the once or twice a year they get it done is because a halfway smart person gets it done twice a year just to maintain it in their mind. Too many people only get it done once a year because they feel like it's out of necessity. And everybody is showing off how long it lasts. Oh, I only need to get it done once a year. That's how long it lasts. There ain't nothing in this planet that lasts a year. And if it does, dear holy God, what is in that product that is making it last that long? Because keep that the hell away from me, let me tell you. All right? For all the chemical stuff that I enjoy in my cookies and my food, I do not want, I at least have the common sense enough to say, I don't want that on my body. All right? At least I got the common sense to know that if I'm eating something and it's not healthy, at least in 48 hours, my body's going to recycle it and I'm going to flush it. But if you're telling me you're going to put something on my body and it's going to last up to a year, I may be ignorant and not eat healthy food, but I'm not so ignorant that I'm going to put that on my body. No. Okay. So care therapy in general is healthy because it'll completely recycle back into the atmosphere. And it's low. I'm not going to say it's magic. It's not a magic beans. Okay. It does have a chemical component to it, but that chemical component is so low that it's going to recycle and it's going to naturally wear off your head or not even your head. It's your hair. Let's say it the right way, because we're not applying it to your scalp. This is going on your new growth, your mid shaft, and your ends. That's really what this is for,
Right.
more than anything else. Okay. And the mid shaft and the ends of your hair is what gets beat up the worst. And that is the most keratin depleted, meaning it's got the least amount of strength in it. And then it's dehydrated, then it's damaged, then it's hurt, then it's in pain. It's thirsty, it's hungry, it needs repair, it needs something. And it's going to reach out to the first available moisture that it can grab, and that's in the atmosphere around us. That is why the hair blows up. That's why you look like a fur ball or a Q-tip or a cotton ball or a swab or whatever you want to call it, okay? That's why the hair looks so jacked up in the summertime more than anything else, because that's when there is the most amount of moisture in the air, is during the warmer months. In my opinion, you should actually be getting treatments done in the wintertime. That's actually the worst environmental damage, is when it's dry. Because now your hair is dry, the atmosphere is dry. That's friction. It's rubbing against itself and getting friction. That's why so many people get static. To me, static is worse than humidity. Okay? Humidity is uncomfortable. And it just doesn't make your hair look good. And your hair just blows up and looking like a balloons. But from a technical perspective, that's actually the best thing you can get, is you're getting moisture back into your hair. That flyaway, that static flyaway during the wintertime, that's actually more detrimental to the hair than anything else, okay? Getting the cream de coco is an hour service, maybe an hour and a half from a time perspective, but that gives you 4 months return of protection. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So I would definitely invest an hour or two of my personal time knowing that I'll get 4 months of wear out of it easily. That to me is a no-brainer. So does that, I hope that answers your question, because that's really the way I promote it to people. Anything beyond that is a class. You really want to sit there and talk about the ingredients?
Hit the nail right on the head. Right. And if you want to, and if you want a class on this, htbbeauty.com. We have our class listings on there. Come, Eddie can get deep into the nuts and bolts of this for you, and really just and it'll open your mind, and just for another avenue for us to bring to our clients, to actually give them what they need, not what they, not give them something they need, not just sell them something. And I love the fact that you and I have adopted the same thing is, if you're doing smoothing treatments, there's no busy bus that pulls up for smoothing treatments come spring, okay? Or, it's a year-round treatment. Every 3 months, every 4 months, whatever it is, stay up on it, because they're gonna have gorgeous hair year-round, not just, oh, summer's here, I got to get my smoothing treatment. Why are you limiting yourself, number one? And why are you limiting your client? I remember over the winter, I can't wait to get my next smoothing treatment in June. I'm like, what? Yeah, my stylist says so. I'm like, you know what? I can do your smoothing treatment for you right now after we do your color. It's just that simple. We've got to start being smart about our businesses too, right or wrong.
Absolutely. You got to. I mean, especially with this being the year for the individual services and the person and the more personalized services, then
Right.
tailor all of your clients' hair needs into one thing. It's not just about color and cut. It's about everything
Yeah.
overall.
But to mention that, just to mention that, to kind of go along on that thought process, if you really think about it, how many of your clients do you do maybe three different formulas on for the year? They have their summer formula, they have their fall formula, and they have their either their winter fall winter formula and then their spring formula. We do the same thing for that. They're not just getting their color done when they have a special event or just for the winter. It's the same thing to me. It's if you're doing treatments, the treatment should be year round for your clients so they have the opportunity to constantly have awesome hair. And this whole thing reminds me of a saying that was given to me a few years back when about 17 years ago when I was kind of in a dark place. And it was given to me by this person that was kind of helping me through it. And it says, if you continue to think the way you have always thought, you will continue to get what you've always got.
I freaking love that.
Okay.
You
really?
got
No, seriously.
so on the street the way you would say that on the street, you got.
Well, once again, if you continue to think the way you have always thought, you will continue to get what you've always gotten. That made so much sense to me. Well, at that time, and now, as things approach, and I really, and we all have those inner thought processes where it's like, oh, I'm just going to do this, and you got to rise up. You got to change the way you think about things to get more, get better, get, it just that saying ties in with everything that we've talked about today because, um, I'll use the hair extension, that lady that we helped out earlier this week again, where, the first thing I said to you is, okay, so we're going to start, we're going to put the wefts in an inch back. And that's where my thought process was. That's what I knew. And when you showed me a different way to do it, where it'll look more natural, I mean, I would have never have thought to do that with the comb where you can actually see where the hairline lays. And you told me, and it's ringing in my head for the past 3 days is the hair is always gonna tell you, and the hairline doesn't lie. And it's the same thing. You have to really change the way you think if you want to move forward, move up, in your personal life, in your professional life, in life in general. If you change your mindset, usually good things happen, unless
So let me say it to you this way, because I want to ask you a question. But first, I agree completely with what you're saying. Completely. Too many people hear that said, though. What advice do you have? Or my question is, where do you begin? Everybody says, if you just change your mindset and start thinking positive or start thinking differently or start being more open-minded, good things will happen, right? You change the way you think, you won't get got. So I can't help myself but smiling because I just think of the way you say it on the street. As it goes, though, in all seriousness, where do you begin with that? Because that is the biggest hurdle, in my opinion.
Well, here's how it is. For me, I can only use myself as an example. When situations arise, I always take a half step back and think before I react. And I think about what my reaction's going to be. So I'll step back and go, okay, this is my initial knee-jerk response. And then I will think about what are the ramifications of that response. And this is all done very quickly in your head. We all do it. And I decide that maybe this is not the path I want to take. And I change the way I react to a situation, especially in my personal life. Being all fired up and just throwing hand grenades out there and then just dealing with the aftermath, with changing that thought and actually approaching it calmly, collectively, and sanely has changed the way a lot of things have come together for me. Um, Before, when I was a young, fired up man, I didn't care. I'd burn the bridge before I'd walk across it. It's almost the same thing, working that way. But I really think that how you react to to situations, and that's professionally, that's everything. That really starts changing your thought process. How do you approach it?
Not everybody.
We've frozen.
No,
Oh,
no,
there it
no.
is.
I was thinking about it for a second. I really thinking about it for a second because I don't know what's the right way how to explain this. The only word I think of is aggressive. I don't know what better word to say, but my first initial thought is an aggressive thought. It's a strong thought. It's a powerful thought. I don't know what the right word is, but point is, anytime somebody says something to me, I make a command decision, and it's either going to apply to me or it's not going to apply to me. I either have a better idea or I don't, and it's hard to because then the struggle becomes it's your idea versus my idea and which one wins. And I always forget about the gray zone, the gray area in between. There's a mediation that can happen where you could collectively take parts of your thought and I could take parts of my thought. We could merge them together, make them have a baby, and it could be cute, and everybody could be happy. My problem is whenever somebody's going to start telling me something, I either have a prior, if I have a prior relationship with them, you kind of already know the person. So you're like, here we go. He's saying this crap again. Right. Or if you're meeting somebody for the first time, I'm paranoid. So I'm always like, what is this? What angle is this guy trying to take with me? So regardless, I'm always on the defensive. As soon as somebody starts trying to tell me something, I'm on the defensive. And now it's this game of justifying whether or not I want to believe or I can believe, or I have to convince you to believe this way or that way. So I just try to take a deep breath now and I just say it in my mind. No matter what I'm about to hear, whether I agree or disagree, whether I think it's genius, brilliant, or the stupidest thing ever, just hear it out. Hear it out and try to see how can I sell myself rather than the person trying to sell me on their idea. How do I sell myself on that person's idea? And then from there, try to give it back to them from my own personal perspective. Try to give back their own idea of what I was just told. Try to say it back to them in my own way and see if we can come to a compromise in between or see if we can come to some level of an agreement. Otherwise, your only other choice from there is just to flat out reject it and disagree altogether, you know? So it's helped me a lot with trying to remain open-minded. I'm actually starting to learn that there are other people's perspectives out there that are different from mine, and that's okay. I've actually learned a couple of things. I may not always want to apply it. I may not fully agree with it, but at least I understand that there is a different perspective out there other than my own. And actually, it's helped me with my classes. It's helped me with my presentations, with my stage performances, and it's helped me behind the chair. It's helped me deal with family members as well, especially with family members that I don't necessarily always agree with. So that's the best advice I can give. From there, I'd like to hear what your all advices are. Give me your guys' comment. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week.